Before we get started on today's episode of Veterans Minimum, big ups to the members of the Patreon. Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Mike Wozniak, Nick Crummich, and Thomas Robinson. Support for Veterans Minimum comes from Patreon, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. We have a $5 tier. We have a $1 tier, actually. If you can't spend $1, I don't know what's going on, right? You won't even realize that on your statements to support the show. If we get 5,000 people to pledge, George, $1, it's very
changing
nice.
lives.
It's very nice. And we have the $5 tier access to the Discord, all the betting picks. $10 tier is the giveaways. $20 tier is roll call, which you just heard. Also, you get discounts off the merch and merch store, which we're going to update for the fall and the winter. Got a lot of cool shit coming up, new designs and all that fun stuff in between, as well as a $40 tier, which honestly, you're a crazy son of a bitch if you're in this tier, and we might like you a lot more than everyone else.
We'll favor you.
Yeah. Maybe a little frozen envelope if needed. Patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. Now hit the theme music.
Yeah. With a message for my people. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my pocket's that
deep.
With nothing to prove, I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna
My man.
benefit. Never been a threat.
Back in the building.
Back in
Veterans
it.
Minimum, the number one sports betting vibe on the fucking planet. I'm your host, Nick Deus, at Nick Deus 10, as you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. George.
Yeah, Nick. I could hear it in your voice already, and I'm sure the fans are already starting to notice. Okay.
That shit ain't never coming home, bro. Do you know about that saying?
No.
It's
I
coming
actually
home.
don't.
So all the England fans, they've only won one major title in their history.
Wow.
It was the 1966 World Cup. It's the only tournament they've ever won, which is like wild for a traditional power and nation like them. And they have this phrase that it's coming home, right? It's like the birthplace of soccer. And the thumbnail and the title of this episode is, that shit ain't never coming home, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It ain't coming
That's
home.
unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I want you to know that all day yesterday, after they had scored that goal, bro, I was running around I'm English till I die. I'm England till I die.
Go.
England till I die. Oh, damn, Nick. I was riding it with you, dude. Wow.
Bro, when I tell you, I don't think I've ever, like, I've seen the Giants play Super Bowls,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like that, right? Like, obviously, the years that the Giants won the Super Bowl, I had bet on them, even though I was still young. Like, I was a junior in high school when they beat the Pats undefeated, and then I was a sophomore in college in 2011 when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, we've been degenning since birth, basically.
Right.
So I did have money on them, right? But it's also my favorite team. But it felt like that for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I always say this whenever I come very close to hitting these like monster bets and these like great calls. And shouts to Mark in the Discord. He sent a really cool message and he was like, yo, bro, even though they didn't come home, you know, a 40-1 Mavericks, they go to the finals. A Celtics Mavericks 12-1, that ends up being the final. Argentina and Colombia, a Patreon pick. And I mean, I even post all this shit everywhere basically for free too.
Yes.
What the Patreon does is you actually get to see exactly what I bet. That's what I post on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I tell everyone, yo, just listen to the show. The show is free.
Yep.
You follow me on social. I was posting Colombian chicks every time Colombia was playing and reminding people that it's 12-1. You know, Copa
You DM'd
starting.
me one, and I was like, Nice.
Yeah.
That was a really good. How many do you have? Do you have a gallery or an album in your phone?
Oh, dude. I mean, shout
Colombian
out to
chicks?
Shout out to I do. Also, shout out to the cameramen at Copa America.
Oh, they were so good.
Gracias.
Sí.
Right?
So muy bien. Con el cámara.
Phenomenal.
They were finding
Right?
them, bro.
They were
Listen, finding them,
for the boys. That was for the boys,
bro.
And yeah, man, like on a serious note, like I post all my shit for free. And the Patreon, it's only $5, right? I know it's a cheap plug and we just did the Patreon early on, but I always get people asking about like, yo, you should sell your picks. And I was like, I'd rather you listen to the show. I really would. Like anyone that's been listening knows since February, I had the Bellingham parlay, the Hey Jude.
Yep.
Hey Jude, right? Real Madrid
this
in
is a
England.
singing episode.
We
It's a
had
musical.
We had that. It was posted everywhere. Colombia was posted everywhere. But then the Patreon just shows you exactly what I bet and what odds I got it at, right? So with all that being said, and to tie it into how I felt yesterday, like, bro, I was so fucking nervous. Like, it was crazy how nervous I was, how excited I was also. Because it was like, dude, you know, we could be sitting here today and I'm $70,000 richer.
Yep.
Right. And like the plan that I had, I was going to come in like a sombrero. And I told Jeremiah I was just going to wear a Colombian flag, like around like a cape.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to wear today.
You let me in on that plan beforehand too. You're starting to sprinkle the rumors.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man, that's you got to just realize all the W's you took along the way. That's another big thing. If you're predicting all the way down to the final,
Right.
I mean, every single game, minus England slipping up early, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's that, and also you bring up a good point because everyone was asking, yo, did you cash out? Did you hedge? And to what you just said, I didn't.
Mm.
Even knowing what I know now, I'm happy I did it. And I'll tell you why. First of all, with soccer, Spain and Argentina were north of minus 170. Let's just say minus 170 consensus.
Right.
On almost every book I had access to out here to lift the cup. I needed two things to happen. It wasn't just England. I needed also Colombia. So what happens if I hedge out a bunch of different outcomes with Spain and then England wins? And now what am I going to do? I'm going to hedge out with Argentina. And then before you know it, that $32,000 bet is probably going to net me $2,500.
Yeah.
Because also you need to remember, you can't just bet it in the 90.
Mm-hmm. You had to
There's-
bet penalties.
There's money line 3-way, which means Spain draw England. And then there's in extra time. And then there's in penalties. And then there's to lift the cup, which covers all your bases.
right.
So there was way too many outs. It was 4 outs just for the Spain game. And then guess what? There's another 4 outs for Colombia, Argentina as well.
Right.
And I'll tell you the real reason why I didn't hedge. I was up very handsomely on the summer of soccer. I
Yep.
won a shitload of money. The only other time I won this much money in a short period of time was when the Rams won the Super Bowl. And then the next month I came to Vegas for 272. Dude, I literally hit every single parlay. Like every single bet my buddy Boss, shouts to Boss, him and I hit at that UFC card, Masvidal and Covington. We hit every single one. Method of victory, the round, like it was crazy. I was laughing halfway through the card. I'm like, bro, like fucking second round submission. And then it would happen. It was crazy. It was never going to happen again, right? So I won a lot of money and I was up. Now, say I was down a couple $1,000s. I'd probably hedge at least one of them.
Do you have a connect that would be able to get you the capital quick?
Of course.
Okay.
In this scenario, I was my own connect.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Because
then
I
you're
left
set.
I left all my money in my account that I won over the last couple
Oh,
of
I
weeks.
feel you. I feel you. Okay.
I'm not someone that likes to withdraw because also out here, some of the sports books, you have to pay a service
fee?
fee to deposit.
for them
when
to
I
go
pay-
bring out my dollar bills.
Yeah.
Come on,
And then
bitch.
it also upsets me when I deposit money into my account and they charge me $3 per $100 I put in. I'm like, bro, it's enough I have to lay juice.
Yeah.
You really need these $3 too?
No,
you fucks?
they're grimy, bro.
Yeah.
These casinos, man, they know how to nickel and dime you. And everybody, it's funny you mentioned that at family breakfast yesterday. I was telling people about just like how bad it is at the Mirage right now with all the progressives having to pay out and how there's extra police around like slot machine players for the hand pays. But bro, as soon as they go up for that hand pay, if your player's card isn't in the slot machine, you won't win that money. Even though there's video record of you playing it the entire time, you putting in the money,
right?
They still won't hand pay you because you don't have your player's card in.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
It's criminal.
That's
it's criminal,
so
but they make their own rules.
It's so wild.
Well,
yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. So I want to start just with like the scenario with England, right? Because one thing that really upset me also, and again, winning the money is great. Like that also is life-changing kind of money. Right? Like $60K. You know, one of my bucket lists is to buy my house off betting.
That's a baller thing to have in your bio.
Like, dude,
Instagram.
if Colombia, I swear to God, George, on our friendship on Veterans Minimum, I was on like Thursday. I was talking to my pops and I was like, yo, when you were to walk into my crib at my new house, I was going to have a mural of Jude Bellingham and James Rodriguez, like painted, them holding the trophies or some shit. Like I'd pay big money for someone to go and paint it and have it there. So then people would be like, why the fuck is this up on the wall? I'd be like, yo, I parlayed them two to win the World Cup, to win the Euro and Copa America. Also, my favorite number is 10 and they both wear number 10.
Oh,
they were the
perfect.
best players on their team. And yeah, that's like a life bucket list of mine. Be like, yo, either my car or my crib to be like, yo, I got this betting.
To do it in your car, would you put their mural on the side of the car?
Nah, I'd probably make my license plate
cool.
like JBJR1024.
Heart.
the greater than
Money.
sign. with the
No,
thing.
money sign,
With
bro.
the money sign. Yeah. I'm fucking around, but I'm also being really serious.
No,
too.
I'm glad you were able
like,
to share that with me
Yeah.
today and to the audience.
Yeah, and dude, like I didn't post any of my actual tickets anywhere. Like the only person that knew was my pops. I didn't show Jeremiah. I didn't show any of my friends. I didn't show anyone. But I always, like I've told you in the past, I like to show people the wins and the losses, especially something like that. So I posted it up on my Instagram, and it's like, you know, how happy I was when Cole Palmer scored, bro. I was like through the moon, dude. Dare I say, I almost got teary-eyed. I was like wiping down tears. I was like, yeah, I can't believe it. They did it again. They did it again. And then when Spain scored the goal in like the 87th minute,
Yeah.
I felt like a coldness over my body that like someone died.
Before they hit that goal, did you know it was coming? Because I literally felt the switch flip for them. And I felt like I was watching like England from like early on in the tournament come out.
So
Controlling the ball in soccer is very hard, but
Yeah.
like they seem to like after that goal, like turn it up a notch.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? There's one, anytime someone wins a championship and we come on the show and we talk about it, I like to ask just a general opening to the show or to the conversation. Did the right team win the championship?
Mm-hmm.
In this example, 100%. Spain was the best team from the first game. Even when they rested all their starters against Albania,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Like the players and the system and the infrastructure that they have there, it looked the same. And the knock on Spain coming into this tournament, granted, they're a top five favorite.
Yeah.
So this is also a continuing theme that I talk about every major soccer tournament, every World Cup, every Copa America, every Euro Cup. Shit, even the NBA, the winner's probably going to be a top 6 favorite.
For sure.
You ain't going to get Greece in 04, shout out to the Greeks, doing what they did 150-1. Like, that's an exception. That very, very rarely does that happen. It's usually your 8-1s, plus 300s, plus 700 was Spain was, right? So
Yeah.
Start to finish, they were the best team. And to what I was saying, the knock on them coming into this tournament is that they're a tournament away. Like, watch out for them in 26 at the World Cup. Watch out for them next Euro Cup. And they arrived and they hauled ass, and start to finish from game 1 to now, they were the best team. The right team did win. And if you're looking at the ages of the players and like the core, like this team might be here for a little bit. Yeah. And I know we say that a lot. Like I said that about the Nuggets.
Yeah. Well, you could say that
about the Celtics now.
Mbappe in France.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing,
right.
But Yamal's younger. It's crazy the way the world works. They always go for the younger thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Mbappe in 2018 is how we feel about Yamal right now.
Yeah.
Like Mbappe was 18 at the World Cup, hauling ass.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was the X factor for them. And he still is the X factor for France. And he's probably the best player in the world right now. Now that Cristiano Ronaldo, that is, and Messi have kind of taken a step back, they're still very good, high level, but they're not the main guys. They're 37 and 39. But yeah, this kid Yamal, man, turned 17 on Saturday. And like, it's just unbelievable how good he is. And then the other kid, Nico Williams, he's 22. And you're thinking about it, 2 years from now, he's still going to be eligible for best young player in the tournament. What's crazy, the 2030 World Cup, this kid Yamal is going to be eligible for best young player still. Because it's like everyone under 23. And look, man, it was just something that I don't want to get super nerdy on soccer with this one, but it's a problem I have with teams like England and all teams like playing missionary style fucking soccer or the sport. It's like, bro, you have world-class players everywhere, and you play, again, to reference my motherland, Greece, you play like Greece, where like Greece packs it in, tries to score off a corner kick, and then pack it in even more and hope they win 1-0. It's like, bro, you have the best player in England, a career year from this guy, Bellingham. Like, you have all these players, and then you see it a lot of times where like even teams in the NFL, they'll build out a lead, and then they sit
on the ball, bro.
They sit on the ball.
Yeah.
And they'll start doing that in like,
it was so obvious.
And they'll start doing that in like the second quarter. If it's the fourth quarter, there's 8 minutes, yeah, of course. But I'm saying like, bro, pedal to the metal. Yeah. That's why I loved what the Packers did in the playoff game against the Cowboys. They built out that lead. Nah, we're going to, when we're going to stop in the fourth quarter. That's when we're going to pull the brakes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And like England was playing like that, and it was super frustrating. But the right team won. What'd you think about it? Did this soccer summer?
Yeah.
Did it make it any more interesting for you?
Did it sway me? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's competitive, and I enjoyed understanding the difference between what I saw in the Euro Cup and then what I saw in Copa America. Because I feel like in Copa, they kind of let loose. It might not be the best quality of talent. I do think Europe has the best quality of talent as far as what I saw in the way people would control the ball. But yeah, I'm a fan. I did not play FIFA the video game, and that's what kind of is my lapse in loving it at the moment. I played it a lot when I was a kid, and I'm like, all right, soccer's pretty dope when you can actually make them kick it downfield and like make plays. But I don't know. There's still aspects to it as far as like the substitutions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should be able to sub in and out easier, like hockey almost. I think that would make for better soccer.
Ooh, so you're saying if a guy is tired, take him off the field?
Get his ass off, bro. He's been running around. He's got 4 miles in. He's going to sit down for 2 minutes. He's back in the game.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to reinvent soccer here. I mean, it's been out for literally centuries.
Yeah. Now, you know what's crazy, man? I like when you grow up playing soccer, that's kind of like how it is for the most part until you get to more.
So this is just like in professional,
and like
type
high
situations?
level clubs. Like I remember.
Okay.
Now, granted, I'm talking about like U9 in like 1999.
I feel you.
So I don't know how much has changed. Sorry, but yeah, you used to be able to get subbed out, have a drink of water, maybe get some treatment if like your ankle hurt or something. Again, this is maybe I'm dating myself. I don't know, but I haven't played youth soccer since I was a youth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting point. But then it changes the whole dynamic of the sport. So that's why I think like purists would hate it. I think it'd be interesting, man. Like, this guy's been running his ass off for for 40 minutes. Let him have a breather. 5 minutes before halftime, we take him off the field, and then 5 minutes into the next half, we take him, put him back in. Yeah,
because you can just see when teams towards the end of halves like are just they sit on the ball.
Yeah,
like they're like, all right, we're just gonna get out. It's like watching a team take a knee to go into the half. It's just like fast forward.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this shit.
Man, that's because so like to segue into the Copa, right?
Yeah.
How I asked you if the right team won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the right team won. I thought Colombia was the better team.
Really?
Yeah, I think start to finish, the whole Copa America, Colombia was the best team at Copa America. They were 12-1 coming into the tournament. They had this wild unbeaten streak, which ironically enough, their last loss was 1-0 to Argentina. And the guy Martinez that scored yesterday also scored that goal against them too when they played in Argentina during qualifying. Colombia was amazing. The story of James Rodriguez, I think it'd be something you would like. And a lot of American fans kind of like we as Americans like to see you rise. Then we want to see you fall. But then we kind of want you to bounce back again.
Right.
Like it's kind of a roller coaster. It's like first we love you, then we hate you, then we love you again.
Winning solves everything.
This is what happens with James Rodriguez. Like this dude 10 years ago comes onto the scene at the World Cup. He's like 23 because he turned 33 over the weekend. They were posting about him. So he's 23 at the World Cup. Colombia makes the World Cup for the first time since like 1998 at the time. This is 2014 World Cup. And he fucking goes bananas, like scores mad goals, scored a golazo against Uruguay, which is like one of the greatest goals of all time. Just chests it, turns around, fucking banger, upper 90, top bins, right? Like iconic goal. And then he signs for like 100 million euros with Real Madrid, goes there, has a way better career than people, like the narrative is on him. Then he goes to Bayern, then he goes to Everton, plays in Greece for a year, and then he's like tucked away in Brazil. But like, bro, there's something about certain players in soccer that when they throw on their national team jersey, you're like, holy shit, this guy's the best fucking player in the world. And that's how James was. And he captivated everyone, had 6 assists, scored a goal also. And like Colombia was they were fun. It was energetic. This is a country that's only won 1 Copa America, where Argentina's won 15.
Jesus.
And let me ask you this. Money aside, betting aside.
Yeah.
When there's a scenario like Argentina, Colombia, and you're a bystander, say you don't know what my bet is and you're not rooting for Colombia because it's my bet.
Right.
Wouldn't you naturally gravitate to Colombia because you're like, bro, Argentina's won fucking 15 of these?
Yes, but my uncle taught me something very early on in my betting career is you never bet against a streak. You're not that guy, pal, pretty much. It's the you're not that guy, pal meme. So you just brought up a situation. I literally tailed it because of you. I would have probably went with Argentina and Spain. Because when you're betting a sport also that you don't watch too often, you're like, the numbers are telling me what to put in.
Right.
Like I'm not better than anybody. You try to find the right number and you just go.
No, sure, totally. Here's the thing. I always like to think of this, and I think we might have spoken on a recent episode. How would I feel if I had the other ticket? That's, how we were talking about NFL MVP, how we're going to start betting it if there's 3-4 candidates in Thanksgiving.
And then who gets all the primetime games?
Who has the primetime games in December, right? Well, my new thing now, when I'm going into a finals, when I'm going into an MVP race, when I'm going into any scenario where it's heads up, how would I feel holding a ticket on the other team against me? I was shitting my pants not having a Spain ticket. I was very nervous about Spain. I was overly confident about Colombia.
Right.
Because I thought Colombia was the best team. If I would have held a Spain ticket, I'd be like, bro, we're not hedging nothing.
Right.
We're buying a house. Right?
Very true.
So that's my new thinking of how do I feel holding the ticket? And I remember what the scenario was when we were talking about Mahomes in the playoffs. It was the first time that we bet against Mahomes.
Yep.
and we're like, bro, the fear that we had in our hearts betting against this dude is how I'm gonna measure your greatness from now on, moving forward.
Very true.
Like when
I like
was
that method.
Yeah,
It's almost like achieving a post nut clarity pre nut.
yeah, wow,
Yep.
mind blown.
Boom.
Yeah, but for real, like, dude, I'll tell you this, Anthony Edwards. I was pretty nervous going up against him in the playoffs because I bet against him against the Suns. Obviously, I had the Mavericks futures, so like that's how I'm measuring greatness from now on, bro. If I'm betting against you, am I fearful of it? Mahomes puts fear in my heart.
Wow. Fear-based betting, but the right way. I like this. We have so many t-shirts ideas.
And dude,
that
also
will-
like
that will
a
come
lot of
from this.
a lot of t-shirts coming to the shop, but also just thinking about it that way, like, and I feel like it's a pretty logical way too. Like, if I was holding a Spain ticket, would I be worried about England? No.
Yeah.
But me having an England ticket, I was worried about Spain. And then just to go back to this thing with Copa America, one of the main stories going into the game ended up being the fans outside.
Yeah.
Shit was nuts.
Yeah, the videos that came out immediately on Instagram, and I was confused because the first video I saw was like the fans went in and then the cops were only like tackling certain people. And I'm like, isn't everyone breaking the rules here? Like, I don't know what, like I just saw a cop pass like 7 people to just decleat this guy. All-time move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I need a head of steam.
Well, I think
this guy's
also,
too easy to the right of me.
Well, I think also it could be like, let's be honest, the cops judging a book by its cover. There's no. But what I'm saying is like the size of some people
True. Yeah.
that were getting hit. Like, if I was a cop, I'm not gonna go and tackle you, bro. You're a brolic fucking dude, or your brother
Bro.
that's a left tackle for fucking.
I would stiff arm the shit out of an officer
That's what I'm
if I
saying.
broke.
But if there's a kid that's
Especially because I had a ticket.
right, but if there's a kid that's 5'6", 130 pounds, and I'm the cop, I'm probably gonna go and tackle him. That's what I'm saying. Because some of the people that were getting lit up fit that mold.
Bro. These cops.
It was like an older lady
This
too
is-
that got hit, and then the Pomeranian was just. It was a video of a dog.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh bro, I gotta post it,
Oh,
bro.
no.
Bro, this lady gets tackled, or no, the guardrail falls over.
Right.
Guardrail dead ass falls over,
I saw that one.
and a dog just fucking walks out of the. Who brings a puppy to the stadium, bro?
It wasn't.
That's what I was saying. Like,
Bark
yo,
at the
it was really wild, and
Oh, you see them, the vents?
yeah.
So I heard somebody on another podcast talk about like how the Miami Dolphins have never once drawn a crowd that cares so much, and that, you know, they should try to learn from these fans. So I'd like to preach that message as well to all you Dolphins fans. Why don't you guys do some wild shit?
Yo, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I was texting my buddies and saying, like, all those Colombians going into the vents and climbing over guardrails, you know what my takeaway was?
What?
This is why we're never going to be good as a country in soccer. Because you ain't getting no fucking white people from Missouri jumping the gates to go and do that. They don't care that much about soccer.
Very true.
This is passion. This is what I love about Spanish people, bro. They're fucking passionate. They're wild by any means. And then on a serious note, this is very alarming with the World Cup coming here, because I don't think the infrastructure is prepared for shit like this. We're like, bro, what did you think was going to
dude?
Well, what do you think was going to happen in Miami, where you have, I think they said 500,000 Colombians live there, and then Messi plays in Miami.
Yeah.
And the Latino, like, bro, I had so many friends in Miami go just around the stadium.
Just to soak it in.
Yeah, just to party and shit. Like, bro, how dope was the Super Bowl week here in Vegas?
Yeah, dude.
Even if you didn't go to the game, like,
Yeah.
Vegas is always a hot spot to just be in
the
Vegas.
tailgate
for.
spots, I would imagine, were pretty sick.
Yeah, dude.
But,
it
yeah.
was fucking, it was wild, man. And look, you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared when the hooligans are going to come over from England.
Yep.
When you're going to have the ultras coming over from like Serbia if they make the World Cup, and you're going to have the French fans coming over. And the Irish if they make it, and then you have the Latino countries coming in too. Like these places get rowdy, bro. These are stadiums and crowds that let off flares in the arenas.
Yeah.
You ever watch soccer games? There's fucking flares and shit. You're not doing that at MetLife. You ain't doing that here at Allegiant. First of all, you can't bring it into
You don't
the
think
stadium.
they will? Because I think they will.
I don't think they'll be able to get it into the arena.
Okay. I didn't think that
No,
somebody.
'cause
I didn't
just
think that somebody would be able to get a shot off at our president, but
Yeah, that's
That
true. Well,
happens.
a lot more open space.
true.
Whereas you're not confined into a stadium where you got to walk through. That's different. But if you watch games in Europe, there's fucking flares.
Yeah.
There's
I see
there's
it.
riot gear and
How
shit.
scared would you be if you saw a flare and you were like a row behind it? Like all those flare and the smoke? Like it has to suck to be the guy a row behind the flare guy.
It would definitely suck. I would say that I feel like that's something that you might become accustomed to.
Mm.
Like if we grew up in Europe and we were going to soccer games,
You're like,
and
it's just always like this.
it's like, that's fucking. This guy's been a season ticket holder for
smoky.
30 years. Like this is his son now holding the flare. You just get used to it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like
He passed him down.
it
It's a
probably
long
would
lost
be like
tradition.
a normal thing.
Yeah, true. True.
Where for us, we're like, holy shit, the stadium's on fire. For them, it's like, it's Saturday. It's a derby.
No, you bring up a very good point with everything coming to the United States. How many games are you going to go to when it comes down here?
I'm gonna try to go to as many as I can. I might use that as an excuse to go to cities that I probably would never go to,
Go which one? Like,
like Charlotte.
true.
Why the fuck would I ever go to Charlotte? I know Idaho
yeah.
don't got no games,
No.
but I would probably use that to be like, oh shit, Brazil's gonna play Spain in Charlotte. That'd be cool.
I
And
feel
then
you.
go there for 2 days, and like the main reason why I'm going is for the game. And let me see, is Charlotte popping?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, I'm gonna try to find an excuse to go to a game in Miami. Maybe try to do it where like, oh, Miami's gonna have 3 games in 6 days. Let me just stay down there for a week.
For sure.
I know New
Well,
York
isn't it multiple games in one stadium like a day?
no, so like the map for the World Cup.
So one stadium, one game. That's it. It wouldn't be like a March Madness situation where you go to a stadium and
they
you can
wouldn't.
watch like 3 games.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. No, they wouldn't do that. But like here in the States, the venues are Atlanta, Foxborough, Massachusetts.
That would be an excuse to go to Foxborough.
Right. Right. Well, Boston as a New Yorker, it's a really common trip. But like,
True.
so you have Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, Philly, New York, New Jersey, Seattle, and San Francisco. Like Seattle.
Yeah.
How many times in my life am I going to want to go to Seattle?
You're going to start dating a girl that has a travel van. And that's when you'll just be in Seattle.
Be
all
in
the time.
Seattle all the time?
Yeah.
Well, she's Colombian. I might be down.
Bro. A Colombian that came down here, got a camper van. You guys fall in love?
That'd be hot.
That'd
be hot. But yeah, does that make sense though? Like,
Yeah.
or also like let's go a little bit more, I guess, international. Why the hell would I ever go to Vancouver? Maybe to go watch a soccer game. It's not Toronto.
True.
It's not Montreal, where I've been to those cities and like I know people there, and no disrespect to Vancouver, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be dope to go to certain places. And I mentioned Charlotte; they're not even hosting one. But like, just looking at the venues here, I'd say like Seattle. What would I go to Seattle for? Oh, Spain is playing Brazil. I've never been to Seattle. Don't think I'll ever go there again unless Georgia's hypothetical turns out, a Colombian and a renter van,
travel van,
and
she just
camper.
likes- yeah.
Yeah. Like then
Likes to
that
cruise the
changes
coast.
things. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. But it's also, I think it's pretty eye opening as to what happened yesterday with the fans. And also, like, it gotta suck if you're someone that, dude, they were saying tickets were minimum $2,000 to get in. And there were people that couldn't get in even with the tickets because at some point it was becoming so chaotic, they were just letting everyone in.
Yeah. And then they would go to their seats and then the people would be
were
like,
over there.
I am moving.
I
I am moving. I mean, they were jam packed in there.
Yeah.
By the way, you can tell just because they pump in the crowd noise, not pump it in like real like in reality, but they pump it in on the broadcast so you can hear it way louder than it normally was for any Copa America game.
Dude,
Like
also,
it sounded like a rumble the entire game. It was nuts.
Well, I was trying to look at the stadium and try to look at the stairs. You couldn't see stairs anywhere. You just saw a sea of people the entire time. And it was a lot of people in yellow because you had a lot of Colombians at that game.
Yeah.
And look, man, it's I know the game didn't go into penalty kicks, but let me ask you, from watching, because we had a couple of penalty kick shootouts.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of penalty kicks as a non-soccer traditionalist, soccer super fan?
I think it could be improved. You know, I brought a good little addition with saying that you should be able to substitute unlimited substitutions in soccer. So let me just give you this for penalty kicks. The cool thing about hockey penalty shootouts is that they get to dribble up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they get to hit you with some sauce before you even get to the ball. The fact that the ball just stays there and they do like a whole bunch of the choppy feet shit, and there's some people that take it super serious. I think it needs to be further back. And two, I think you should be able to like dribble around the soccer ball before you kick it, but you just got to kick it behind a line or whatever.
Got it. The MLS used to do something like that when it first started. You would start at the half.
Innovative.
You would start at the half line and dribble in on like a breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I'll say this. Penalty kicks, like I can't think of any other sport where you have a swing in highs and lows.
Agreed.
Because like, bro, when I tell you like the World Cup in 2022, my dad and I bet Argentina. We didn't hedge. We let it ride like the whole way. We're like, listen, man, we gave up the money anyway. It's not like you bet with a bookie where it's like, shit, the game's on Sunday, Thursday. We're going to have to pay $2K if we don't. Maybe there you had.
Right.
That's another thing in the conversation earlier before. If it's something on credit and you're using bookies, or maybe, you know, I asked George for $2K to bet this, then I understand that changes
situations
things.
Are situational, my friend.
Situational betting, bro. That's what we talk about all the time on this show. But with the World Cup, the joy when you're on the right side of penalty kicks, you feel like your shit is down to your ankle dangling. You feel like, yo, I'm the man. Don't tell me nothing. And then what you said about making it more easier, I would assume you want it to be easier.
No, I don't necessarily think it's easier to be dribbling in.
You think more entertaining?
I think it would be more entertaining. Yeah.
So what makes penalties so fascinating is, I would say in those scenarios, bro, these are world-class players. From 12 yards away, they could score every time. Now, it's the mental and the pressure and the, holy shit, if I don't make this one, my country is losing.
Mm-hmm.
The English players were getting all these racial slurs in 2021 when they lost the Euro Cup. And then they go into this Euro Cup, and Sacco plays on Arsenal. He missed it in 2021. He made it in 2024 against Switzerland. And it's like, you're a piece of shit here when you miss. You're the fucking man down to the ankle when it hits. And I think it's way more mental than anything else.
Yeah.
It's the pressure. It's all eyes are on me. And there it's, holy shit. That's what I think makes penalties so fascinating.
Have you seen, there's a couple of things. One, I think you can relate this to college football overtime. There is a quick back and forth that occurs. Maybe not as fast time-wise as soccer, but the emotion fluctuating at a great amount feels similar. Aside from that, have you ever seen a penalty shootout in which a team goes down by a lot and comes back to win it? Because I feel like every time I watch penalty shootouts, as soon as you're the team that wins that first, whether you get a block or the other team misses, like you're going to win that shootout. Is that pretty much the way it is? Like,
I can't remember off the top right now if That's happened. I'm sure it has. But I feel like, you usually ask your goalie to make one save.
If he does that, you're probably going to win.
Yeah. The chances are always in favor of the team kicking.
First?
It's always on the penalty kick taker that has like the advantage. Like, bro,
For sure.
It's a massive net.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you ever go to a field and you just go to do that, you're like, how the fuck do these guys miss?
Yeah.
And then you start to think like, all right, well, there's 80,000 people here. Maybe I'm shooting in the opposing crowd section because they do a coin flip. And, most of the times you'll go where the majority of your fans are if you win the toss.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the mind games and this guy's standing over the ball right now and I got to adjust it again. And then he comes over and he kicks it. That's what the Argentina goalie does all the time. So it's way more mental. It's like free throws, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe you hit 100 free throws in a row, but now it's 98-101 and you have 3 at the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's game 7. Now it's
It's
famously pressure. Nick Anderson with the Magic when they made the finals in
I'll never forget those.
95 they made the finals, right? 95?
Yeah.
94 was the Knicks, 95. It's like, game 1, he misses a bunch of free throws.
Yep.
It's like this guy was like an 80% shooter or whatever he was. But when it comes to that,
I mean, it's sick.
It's the pressure.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Summer of soccer. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you guys enjoyed the Patreon. I hope you guys enjoyed the soccer too, man. I always like having people like you on the show. Obviously, we've been doing the show now for a little bit, but also when, you're not a fan of a sport and then it just captivates the whole world for a couple of weeks. It's very similar to NCAA.
No, 100%.
March Madness. You know how I feel about college sports. And then when it's March Madness, it's like, all right, let me
just take a peek in here.
Are we betting on Kent State,
seed, dude?
All right, this 13 seed is
Shockers.
favored.
Yeah.
Like,
Let me see where Shaka Smart's at this year.
You become enthralled with these storylines. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Really, really good feedback from everybody, and a lot of good stuff. Shout out to the Summer of Soccer. Okay, switching over to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Some news late last week. And I want to discuss the Jalen Brunson contract.
Yeah.
But I also want to ask you a question within that. So for those that didn't see or weren't aware, Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks is signing a 4-year, $156.5 million contract extension. Amazing.
Yes.
Good money. However, when you come to realize that he's leaving $113 million on the table by not signing the max contract next summer, I'm going to give you 2 takes.
Okay.
The Knicks fan in me,
Yes.
build him the fucking statue, retire the 11. The family and
Oh
friends
my
get a
God.
section. Like, this guy wants to win in New York. I'll tell you a quick funny story. I took my cousin in 2017 when the Knicks are winning like 20 games a year. And I took him to a Knicks game. He was visiting from Greece. And we went and we were sitting like lower bowl, relatively close to celebrity row, right?
Yep.
And they show like Patrick Ewing and John Starks, and they're showing them on the screen, and the crowd goes fucking apeshit. They're going bananas, right? My cousin goes to me, he's like, yo, did they won the NBA title? I was like, nah, they came in second, He's like, and they're going crazy like this? I was like, yeah, it was a big deal. They honored the team. The 94 team is like New York legacy and aura. He goes,
Yep.
Damn, bro, imagine if they won. And I was always thinking like, yeah, I always feel as if the Knicks ever won a title, it's the number one franchise in sports that the fan base would fucking go bananas over. Like, there's no other team in any of the 4 major sports that like them winning a title would be as wild as the Knicks winning a title. I don't want to hear no debate. I'm not open to a debate. Argue amongst yourselves in the comments and with your mirror. The Knicks, it's number one. Like, The Cubs have won one now. Maybe the Cubs were in that discussion.
Right.
100+ years. But now the Knicks, I mean, bro, the Knicks win 7 games in a row and the crowd goes bananas and people are going crazy. Imagine if they won a title, right? So the fan in me, Jalen Brunson, salute, retire the jersey. The other side of me, fucking idiot.
I mean, it's one of the worst financial decisions an athlete has made in a very long time.
This, from a financial decision standpoint, this isn't 20 million. This isn't 40 million. This is $113 million. This is also like taxed money.
That's Ian Rebell.
Hey, what's going on?
Long-time listener.
It's also a first-time viewer.
Yes.
It's always, that's a big number, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's a substantial. Like if you're taking $10 million less, sure, but 113 is wild. And also, there's $113 million in New York.
Yeah, no,
which is like the taxes suck.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably of that 156, you're probably gonna walk away with like 70.
Less than that.
Yeah, you probably like we did the Jason
the
Tatum
agent
contract.
Tax. Remember what was the one? The jock tax.
Yeah, which I didn't know about until CJ Watson was on. He was like, "Yeah, it's the athlete tax. Like if you're an athlete, let me pay even more about that."
Yeah.
So I get it. You want to win, and you want to win. Maybe he really wants to win in New York, and that's definitely what this is telling you. And he wants to keep his homies with him.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to get some new homies, is what he's insinuating with this. I mean, he wants to keep the band together, but definitely if you're leaving that much off the table, you better be going to get me a premier superstar. Like, there's a bit of me that's like, I don't know what they did to brainwash Jalen Brunson, or if, like I tried to ask CJ Watson, is there stuff that is off the books that we don't know about? And maybe this is like, I don't know, sports conspiracy theory because they are legally only allowed to pay him so much. But it's like you're telling a player to leave $100 million off the record, and I know they want everything on the record, and that's probably best. But like you said it, he is a king in New York right now. And they ended off with him practically carrying this Villanova-filled Knicks team to an early exit in the playoffs. Competitive, compelling, but at the end of the day, they were exhausted, bro. Every week I would come in, you'd be like, Tibbs is tibbing right now. He's leaving him in. When are they going to get some new pieces that are going to make Knicks fans actually excited? That's the way that I feel about this whole situation. It's one thing for him to leave money off the table. It should be he left money off the table, and now we have insert big name free agent here. The storyline should have been like that.
Mm.
But now they're, I don't know. They're still going to fall in love with him. But as we get closer to the season, they're going to be like, what did they do with this?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Well, like the under the table stuff it's always funny when I think of like Tom Brady when he was with the Pats. He'd be like the 18th ranked quarterback on salary, but then he'd have a $40 million signing bonus. And you're like, oh, that's where he makes up his money.
Yeah.
So who knows? It's really interesting. The money is fully guaranteed in the NBA, which is amazing and good for him. But this definitely tells you that he wants to win, and he wants to win in New York. And as a lifelong New Yorker, I can tell you one thing, man. If you win there, bro, you are the fans are gonna ride with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna go to bat for you. Like, you ever notice Eli Manning never talks about him being a Hall of Famer? Because the Giants fans go fucking nuclear on the internet for him. They're like, what do you mean he's not a Hall of Famer? Of course he is. Right? And that's the thing. When you win in New York, shit, even if you don't win in New York, if you like make a playoff run, if you like have a career year and you go to a Stanley Cup like Henrik Lundqvist, it's like, oh, the king. That's our guy. Like, we love him. It's a very unique place, man. And look, I think he wants to play with all his boys with Nova. It wasn't that long ago. It was less than a decade ago that they were all at Villanova winning national titles. And this is going to allow to pay those guys too. And then maybe Jalen Brunson is like, yo, bro, I got enough money. Like maybe for him, this is his second big contract.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's one of those guys that's like, hey man, I've made north of 250 million now with, let's account for this contract too. And he's like, yo, bro, I want to win now.
He seems like he's a very, and I'm not saying that like most NBA players aren't intelligent. You just hear the horror stories and you're like, damn, bro, things go really sour for a lot of athletes, but it's probably because they don't manage the money and they're not that educated on the way to spend it. He seems like he, isn't too extravagant. He doesn't make like the New York or the NBA, fashion photos that they post on every Tuesday night in the NBA or whatever. He's low key.
With the completion of this contract, he'll be 33 years old.
Okay.
Right. And he would have made over $260 million in his career just off NBA contracts. Right. Maybe he's just like, yo, bro, I thought I was going to be a guy signing 2-year deals. And I was just going to be a dude that maybe I could get a second contract. Again, I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe his thought process was like, yo, I made it to the league. No one thought he would be this good, or else the Knicks wouldn't have paid what they paid for him initially, 4 for 104. Maybe it was something where it was like, hey man, I wanted to have a cool career and I got paid once, I got paid twice. Now let me try to win. Let me try to win in a place that hasn't won since the early 70s.
Yeah.
And we see how dudes that fucking lose get treated in New York.
Yeah.
And get praised. Imagine if I won here. And my team is actually good. We have the second best odds in the East behind Boston.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of match up well with Boston. And maybe that's his logic. And it could be, bro. Like, look, dude, I've told you and I've posted it in on my social and in my head. There's a number I have in my head that it's a lot of money. And like, bro, anything after that is like,
I get what you're saying.
I think there's some people, and look, there's some people that are like, yo, I need it all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a bad thing either, too. It's like, bro, at some point.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, I know the way that Jalen Brunson must have felt at the end of the playoffs last year. And if they don't add a piece or two, I would be extremely disappointed. Because I know that what we had this current year was not enough to get it done. You got to build to beat Boston.
Let me push back. I think the roster that the Knicks had was more than enough. They all got hurt, bro. If we were if no one got hurt on the Knicks, I'm not saying that they would have won a title, but you would have been saying, yo, they got the most depth in the playoffs. Josh Hart was not supposed to be a starter. DiVincenzo, not supposed to be a starter. What's his name? Hartenstein, not supposed to be a starter. Right? Didn't have Randall all year. These are all guys that got put into the lineup because of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So if they had those guys, you're looking at it like, holy shit, they have the most depth in the league in the playoffs.
Right.
Tibbs could go 10 deep, which he probably wouldn't anyway, but I'm saying they have the options.
Yeah.
It's different when you look down your bench, you're like, yo, I could bring in Josh Hart as opposed to Alec Burks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Burks hit some big shots and he kind of would come in and he played very well. At some point, people were like, yo, he should be playing more. But I think Brunson, they all play well together. They've been successful together, and he wants to keep that together. And look, man, for some people, they might think that, yo, I never thought I would make this much money podcasting.
Right. Very true.
So, and look, eventually your value goes up and you start to realize like, hey, man, I'm doing more than all these people. And why are they getting that? That's where that changes things.
Correct.
But I don't know.
It's different when,
maybe he really wants to win in New York.
Yeah, it would be stupid not to. I mean, the reason that you brought that up as far as just the losing in New York, it would go down as far as Kobe level status. I really do think it would match that. I don't think it could go up to Jordan, but you also have like LeBron, who like which city is LeBron claiming? Does he want to claim Miami? Does he want to claim?
He'll probably claim Cleveland.
Cleveland. He's going to claim Cleveland. Okay, whatever.
Grew up there, played there the longest.
Right, but he, probably should claim Miami. Miami's looking for a person to claim it, and now he let Jimmy Butler kind of take it. But whatever. Every city needs their hero in that, facet. And, the boys, John Starks and who was your Patrick Ewing, they're getting long in the tooth for sure. You need a new wave of superstar. Can you imagine Dante DiVincenzo at 50 years old with like one of those little white guy hats on, the Pebble Beach one that I wear sometimes, where it's
like
just,
a fedora?
maybe it's a fedora, but mainly
I know it's like the mafia hat.
the mafioso's hat. Yeah. Dante DiVincenzo standing up next to Jalen Brunson. I mean, the roof will explode. Do you ever think that they will get rid of MSG?
No chance.
I don't think so either. They'll build a brand new one like on top of it. They've already made renovations, but it is pretty old.
You know what's cool about Madison Square Garden? And Cam was talking about this on their show. It's legit in the city.
Oh, it's in the middle. I didn't know, Nick. I didn't know where it was when I went to New York.
Right. A lot of people are blown away when they're like, "Yo, Times Square is like 8 blocks up this way." Where the world sees the ball drop for New Year's.
Yep.
That's like 8 blocks up.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden is in like the heart of the city. It's another reason why Knicks fans and New Yorkers love the Knicks. It's like, bro, this is our team. Like it's they when they go to the games, they got to walk through these fucking rats and these like piles of trash.
Yeah.
And the traffic. Like they're not going out to East Rutherford.
Right.
To play football games. They're not going out to Long Island and Hempstead to go to fucking whatever that arena's called now where the Islanders play. It's like, nah, bro, they're in the trenches with us.
I like that. Yeah.
It's like,
no, it's true.
All the lights and shit. That's where MSG is. So good for New York for making Brunson do that. And shout out to Brunson, man. You're gonna be remembered forever. Win, lose, or draw. The fact that you did this. If you think Knicks fans love you now, bro, they're going to fucking roll the red carpet out for everything you do. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. All right. Staying with the theme of New York, I want to end the show with this.
Mm-hmm.
There are some rumors. Let
me hear it. Rumor mill.
We might get a reunion in New York between 2 former Green Bay Packers.
Oh. Is Mr. Adams, is he tweeting some things? What's how do we come up with these rumors, Nick?
It feels like it's been an unspoken secret or like a known secret, kind of inevitable.
They got divorced, but they were still fucking on the side.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
And
but
they've both been like, bro, I miss you.
And they're like,
and then that old thing back.
The friends like us start saying they were really good together.
They were great.
I don't understand why they ever left.
Why did they leave one another?
I mean,
sometimes it's not always greener on the other side.
You don't know how good you have it until it's gone, bro.
100%.
It's that situation.
And Adams leaves, goes to the Raiders. He wanted to play with his boy, Derek Carr. And then Derek Carr leaves the Raiders. And he's been pretty sour about it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the Jets might have tried to make a move for him last offseason. I know they Rodgers cleared up some money to take less, to maybe bring him in. And look, bro, I know it sounds crazy. And all my Jet fan friends, they think I'm trolling them. They think I'm just being an asshole. But I love the Jets going into 2024. Like, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. They're kind of under the radar now. I like that they're 30-1 to win the Super Bowl and not 12.
Right.
Like last year, they should have been a 30-40-1 team to win the Super Bowl.
Correct.
But you were paying the Aaron Rodgers tax.
Correct.
You were paying the hype machine that was the Jets. You were paying all that extra shit where now the market has completely flipped. Because why? Happens all the time. The public gets behind the team. They lay an egg. Granted, Rodgers got hurt, obviously. But that also pissed people off.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't betting on them now. He got hurt last year. He's injury prone. Sure, could be the case. It was the same take we had with McCaffrey around this time last year about him being injury prone. That's why he was 20-1 to win Offensive Player of the Year. I really like this Jets team. I think defensively they're going to be stout because that's the core of their team. I think they've made improvements to the offensive line. They bring in Tyron Smith, need him to stay healthy, obviously.
Yeah.
They're going to get some guys back that they lost last year. You got the stud running back, which you know that NFL scouts and like front office people did a poll on the best running backs in the league. You know, they have Brees Hall number 2.
That's crazy.
Like that's how they.
You just
view
never
him.
noticed it because I mean he's kind of dealt with shit,
Right?
but he's made the most of it. For
But
the
that's what I'm
past year.
saying. Like he's been, it's been noticeable because he does pop off despite having the shit and despite having to face 8-man boxes because Zach Wilson is the quarterback and you have Garrett Wilson, you have Mike Williams on a 1-year deal. Imagine they bring in Adams.
Now,
Bro, you're talking about
you're
this
creating
team
the
is-
show that I'm talking about that the Knicks need to create with this freed up cash. All right, go out there and create the show. Is there another great Villanova player that you could add to that team?
Nah,
I can't think of
I don't
one
think-
right
I
now.
think those are the main guys.
Those are the main ones, right?
Yeah.
I'm not missing one.
Nah, I think
Whatever.
that's it. But yo, what do
Yeah.
you think about this? Does this change anything for you if the Jets get him?
No, it doesn't change anything for me because I'm riding the wave here with you on you're not going to find a better value on them this early on. I think as the season even gets closer, or if this move happens, do you think the line moves? Do you think they go from 30-1 down to does Devontae Adams move it to 15-1?
I don't know about 15. It'll definitely move because you're gonna have people being like, "Yo, they got Adams now." Oh shit!
Right.
They're gonna be thinking about the back shoulder plays with him and Rodgers and all. You know how great they were. Because like, bro, for like 6 years, that was the best duo in the league.
Oh, no doubt. Dude.
You know,
they
like,
were
3rd and 8. You knew the ball was going
Glued
there,
to
and
each
you
other.
wasn't doing anything about it.
Mhm.
So, I think that changes a lot, man. I think that changes a lot. And then you know they made some good moves, right? Like I know Hassan Reddick is kind of holding out. He's had some contract issues. Javon Kinlaw they bring in. They keep everyone in the secondary for the most part. Tyron Smith, Vera Tucker coming back from injury, and like yo, imagine this offense: Rodgers, Brees Hall in the backfield, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Devontae Adams. Who the fuck's the tight end? Conklin,
yeah.
right? Tyler Conklin
Yep.
is the tight end. He
That's-
might
dude.
catch 70 passes just because
Yeah.
no one's gonna be covering him.
No, you'll see. It's like one of those graphics that will be made, like teams that went from lowest scoring last year to the highest scoring teams.
Worst wide receiver room last year to number 1.
Yeah. All the graphics
Yeah.
would be just being shown probably way too early. too.
7 points a
You know,
game
like-
to 37 points. a
Yeah,
game.
it'll be like it's week 2, guys. Like just relax. Like they went off 1 week, but they're gonna go nuts with it. I do think that this reunion though. So did you just? Is it reports that are reading that this is a possibility?
Yeah, so like Boomer Esiason
Mhm.
has a talk show over in New York, ties to the Jets. Believe he played for the Jets a while back, and yeah, he's been saying like, yo, it's kind of like a lot of people in the NFL, and I've spoke to some beat writers, they feel like it's inevitable. If it's not in the summer, you know, the wide receiver thing on Netflix just dropped, and like Adams plays a big role, and apparently he's like very outspoken about like, yo, fucking hate it here. Kind of like that's the vibe that people are getting from the show.
They capture old boy getting fired mid-season, right?
McDaniels?
McDaniels?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so because it follows everything that went down.
Have you watched
last
it
year.
yet?
No, I haven't.
I haven't watched it either.
I'm gonna watch it all week this week. I do one episode a night just so it gives me something to watch the next day because I don't really watch TV unless it's live sports.
Mm.
So I kind of treat it like old school television. I watch one show and then I'll wait till the next day.
It's like, oh shucks.
Yeah.
I really can't wait till tomorrow,
Yeah,
Darce.
yeah.
And you just he's like, Dad, let's watch the next
Yeah.
episode.
So I think it's kind of whether again it happens in a couple of weeks, it happens during training camp, or maybe they make a trade for him.
It's always one of those late things with players that I feel are later in their careers.
Yeah, and you know what else?
It's always very late.
Yeah, and you know what else? This one, he would have an immediate impact because of the chemistry that he has with the quarterback.
The timing doesn't leave, dude.
Right. The timing and like, bro, they'll get back on the field and it'll be like it's 2021 with the Packers again. And that's what it's gonna look like. The only thing that might change is he might not pick up the playbook as fast, and Rodgers could be like, yo, bro, 8 yard in.
I would imagine they have the same whatever hand signals, you know what I mean? Shark fin,
Yeah.
back shoulder fade.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Ain't nothing
Like,
changed, bro. Right where we
They
left
can't
off.
stop you, dog.
So Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I think there's a lot of promising things coming out of New York. You know?
Yeah.
Rangers went to the conference finals. Yankees are a World Series favorite. The Jets, Giants are on Hard Knocks. Fucking the Knicks, some promising things in New York. New York sports might be back. We need some titles.
Yeah.
But we might be back.
The droughts are it's starting to become noticeable.
2011.
I remember looking at it. I mean, it's up there in some of the worst cities, as far as not winning titles.
It's up there as far as like big cities.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah,
but like
Chicago also struggles.
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
Been a while
since Jordan, but whatever. I want it to be back for you. I want Vegas sports to be back. I'm spoiled, bro. I got a title in the first 6 years from the Knights.
Yeah.
Where's my Super Bowl?
Shit.
The Aces are winning titles every year.
Yeah,
racking them
that's
up.
True.
I want more though.
I'm
never satisfied with titles.
I'm sure the A's will probably be good too when they get here.
Yeah. When the A's get here, I got them immediately. They'll be 80-1. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Vegas teams always win in their first year here. I think that's what you got to do. I think the one thing I will start though as a Vegas fan is if they ever show me a motherfucker that came in second place on the Jumbotron, I'm not going crazy. I'm cheering for winners.
Winners only.
All right, New York, learn something.
Yeah,
learn something.
Yeah, New Yorkers like winners and they like second place.
They certainly will take second place. We are happy with second place.
We are happy. George, let the people know where they could find you.
At Mr. George Carmona is where you can find me before we go into hibernation. I'll have a lot of things in the works with Gridiron Junkies. Going to rebrand that. So by the time we come back,
yes,
your boy will be back on the airwaves regularly. That's not.
Yeah, man. There is an episode coming out later this week, normally on Thursday. It's George and I with Jared Smith. He's been on the show a bunch of times before. We talk about NFL awards. It's everyone that we like for the NFL Futures Awards, one of the more popular summer episodes that we put out. And then after that, we're not recording until the NFL preview show, which will be around Labor Day weekend. Going to do something that I haven't done ever since I started creating content, man. I'm going to take a break. I feel like I've earned it. I feel like it's deserved. I never ask for either of those two unless I feel like I did deserve and earn it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just go, and sometimes I don't look back and reflect on everything. I'm always like looking forward. I do a better job of like living in the now, not to get too deep. But yeah, man, I just feel like just a lot of content. Cam and Mace are going to go on break too. Studio's going to have some changes. It'll look different by the time you guys see the show again. But yeah, I appreciate and I love everyone that supports the show, that tags, listens, rates, reviews, comments, subscribe where it is that you need to follow. Continue to tell people about the show. And we're going to come back with some familiar faces, some new faces, and a lot of cool shit. So I'm excited. I hope you guys miss us a little bit when we're gone. And until next time, we out of here.
Element. I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.